Hi everyone, sorry. I just did a whole video and realized it wasn't even recording. Hello, it's Kristen Redmond, and today I am coming to you from outside at my family's cabin, and I am going to talk about the planetary aspects that are surrounding us and affecting us for this week, November 21st through the 27th. And this week we are moving our sun, the essence of each one of us, the energy that we focus ourselves in, out of the sign of Scorpio into the sign of Sagittarius. And it's so easily summed up as moving from the darkness into the light. It really truly is. You see, when the sun is in the sign of Scorpio, it's a time when we focus on a lot of that Scorpio 8th house of astrology energy, which has to do with death and crisis, trauma, loss that we have, and the transformation that results because of those darker aspects of life that we rather would like sweep under the rug and not deal with. When the sun goes through Scorpio, it kind of shines a light on those dark areas and recesses of our mind that we hide from ourselves and from others, and we have to deal with it. We have to. And now as the sun moves into Sagittarius, it's such an optimistic sign. It moves us from the darkness of loss and crisis into happiness and expansion and joy. Okay? Sagittarius is a sign of expanding beyond those limitations of what's happened in the past. A lot of times we go through these losses and we find it as a crutch to not move forward, whatever it is in our lives, right? We find it hard. And Sagittarius tells us, you know what? Let's go beyond those limitations you set for yourself, okay? Let's kind of expand beyond that. Let's explore new horizons. Yes, you may have lost this, but if you explore beyond that hill, if you go beyond this fence and into that woods there, what is it you're going to find? What you leave behind is buried and gone, much like these leaves that have fallen on the ground. That time and that season in your life is done. Let's go and see what that next season has to bring. Okay, and it requires a lot of faith. And faith is the planet Jupiter in astrology. Jupiter rules Sagittarius. It is a sign of faith. It's a sign of getting in contact with your belief of faith. Everybody's got a different view of it, right? There's so many various levels of it. You've got faith from religion, and you've got faith from your own spirituality that doesn't necessarily come from the Bible. And each one of us is going to have a different belief of that, okay? And you know what I'm going to tell you today? Nobody's belief is totally right. Okay, there's a lot of hunters that are out there, and they've been driving by a lot as I'm doing this video, but that will agree that where they find God is in the woods like this, right? In that solitude, in the peace, in the quiet, in that ability to commune with nature. That is where they find God, and that's where God finds them. You know, God's always been there, though, right? God radiates in everything. He radiates in the trees and those leaves that have fallen and died. He radiates in me and you, and in the sun and the moon and the stars, and that beautiful expanse of the universe that goes beyond where any of our minds can comprehend. God created all of that long before any of us and all of our problems down here on earth were created, and He knows what we need before we need it. And His energy sustains us and carries us through in this lifetime. As the sun goes through Sagittarius, we start to really focus on the tools that God has given us through our spiritual belief, through our faith, through the Bible, through cards, through astrology, through everything God provides us to give us hope and strength on this journey as we try to figure it out, what it is we're supposed to do in the times when we're lost, in the times when we're confused, in the times when we're trying to go beyond our limitations and find new territory. He's there helping us, okay? Sun in Sagittarius is a wonderful time. Let's focus on that, huh? You know, let's go beyond those limitations and bounds of our faith. And I'm not telling you to give up on what your priest or your pastor tells you. That's not what I'm saying in the least bit here. I'm telling you to kind of get in contact with what your soul says, not necessarily what the rigidity of the Bible may say. Okay, understand that's been changed a lot over the years through religious persecution and things. Ask for God and those guardian angels, Jesus, whoever you find the most comfort in, to help shine that light, find that truth, that Sagittarius energy of finding the truth and that connection that you have with your faith, with your spirit. It's time for strengthening the soul. is what it is. Okay? As the sun goes through Sagittarius. And Archangel Raguel is a great angel that helps us with that. He's an angel that helps us to, he's known as the friend of God, okay? And he is also the friend to us in this time frame, helping us to forgive ourselves, to forgive others. He's the angel that smooths over arguments and helps us to kind of move past all of the things that Scorpio tends to bring. Scorpio likes to hold grudges, okay? Scorpio is very bitter and will hold on to hurts, more so than any other sign. Then Raguel comes in Sagittarius and says it's time to forgive, it's time to let that go, it's time to let those trees, the leaves fall from the tree, and recycle themselves into the earth and become something new. That's what Raguel does. So if you find yourself needing that harmony in relationships, finding that harmony in yourself, maybe between your physical body and what your soul believes, what your spirit believes, he's the angel that's going to help you find that and to do that as well. So we've got a lot of that going on this week, focusing on that, focusing on our direct connection with God. So now another thing we got going on this week, we've got Mercury lining up with Saturn. That's going to happen on Wednesday. That's a time frame when we get really serious with our conversations with others, okay? Conversations with ourselves, setting boundaries for ourselves, setting boundaries with others, especially in those relationships. Remember, we got Raguel, that relationship angel that's helping us out with that as well. A lot of forgiveness that I think can happen this week. And I think it's going to be kind of a good thing, too, because Jupiter is going to be squaring Pluto, okay? That's going to carry through for the rest of the year. And Jupiter, like I said, it definitely is a big planet that brings wonderful blessings and things along those lines, but it can also blow things up big time, okay? And Pluto is that planet that rules Scorpio. It's about transformation that happens. It can be a lot of power struggles that happen. When Jupiter and Pluto square off like that, we got to be really careful. And of course, this happens on Thanksgiving too, which is kind of a bummer. To have that energy starting out the holiday season, but that can lead to a lot of arguments, power struggles that happen as a result. It can also cause us to overdo things, overthink things, overeat things. So watch out for that too. And to overpromise ourselves, okay, for transformation. So you have these wonderful talks with others that can be insightful and can lead to wonderful changes, but just don't overpromise yourself with what you can do, okay? That's going to be happening. And we also have Venus and Pluto aligning as well on Friday, which is a wonderful thing because it has to do with love and money, okay? So if these conversations that you find yourself having with others have to do with love, or they have to do with money or your career, things along those lines, there's a wonderful window of opportunity on Friday and Saturday when Venus and Pluto align to really initiate major changes, to bring some things through. Problem is, it's going to drudge up some really difficult, old, yucky things that you don't want to deal with, but the wonderful transformation that happens as a result is well worth it. So if you have the gusto and the guts to really dig in deep, to fix what it is you want to fix instead of sweeping it under the rug, that alignment of Pluto and Venus on Friday will be a wonderful thing to do. So this week we definitely have a lot of that energy that's going on for, I'm so cold, for Thanksgiving. We really do. Let's just focus on it, spirituality that we have, that direct connection that we have with God. So here I am. I didn't bring all my stones up here. Oh no, here it is. There it is. So I did bring up a couple, one of them being this beautiful moss agate is what it's called. And this is the stone of all the stones that actually will help you if it's a rainy day or if it's a yucky day outside. This is a stone that if you hold on to it, it's going to make you feel like it's a sunny, beautiful day. All right, when I said that, the sun came out through the trees. Isn't that wonderful? It does. It brings the sun out when there's darkness. Okay, much like us moving out of Scorpio and into Sagittarius. It also helps us ground ourselves in the earth. It helps us to humble ourselves, bring ourselves back down from being way up here or trying to work through some issues. It helps us to kind of ground ourselves and be one with nature. It's a stone of prosperity too. So I've brought that with me here today. Been kind of holding on to it throughout the day as we're working on that. focusing on finding the light. So let's see what the angels have to tell us through that. I'm assuming we got Raguel working with us. I'm so cold because this is like the 4th take of this video I've done, and I am literally sitting in the snow. So we're going to make this as quick as possible. Archangel Raguel, bringing us harmony. What is it you want us to focus on this week as we forgive ourselves, forgive others, move past our hurts, and focus on that direct connection of faith that we have with our God, our singular God. Ooh, let's do 3 more. Yeah! This is the last one, isn't it? Yes, it is, they say. They say. So, isn't this great? So this is the 10 of Air. This is a card that represents the ending of a difficult situation. It can represent moving past an addiction. It can represent just in general, this is the worst that things get. Okay, it's a reminder, this is the worst of it. Okay, whatever the situation it is, and that forgiveness is what needs to happen to move forward. Let's embrace the change and expect things to get better now, is what it's saying. Moving out of the darkness and into the light. What a beautiful card, Raguel. I agree with that. Let's move past that. Huh, isn't that something? Certainly true. I'm going to do this one probably 5 times, okay, because that's half of 10. That's really focusing on the difficulties, because that card, the 10 of Air, really focused on moving past that and that the worst of it's behind us. Let's focus on the energy of what's behind that. I feel like I have to do it one more time. I'm sorry. What chakra that affects the most? Release. Oh, isn't that something? This is a card of releasing the death and the trauma and the loss of Scorpio in the past. A lot of that. A lot about embracing change, moving forward, and expanding those horizons. Okay, and a lot of that can happen through that direct connection that we have with God. Finding our spiritual self, connecting with our soul, and moving forward is really where we want to focus that energy for this week. Releasing what we don't need anymore. Just like the leaves on this tree, right? They release themselves because that season is done. It's time to go into that introspection, connect with God, say, what is it you need me to do on this path? And find happiness and solitude in nature, God, and moving forward in this life. Everybody have a wonderful week and a happy Thanksgiving as well. Bye.